Another objection men have to marriage is they feel like I'm giving up my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a partner that you're in love with, and there's a certain level of maturity before a man learns this on his own, but a shortcut is to hear another man talking about it. Look at your life, men. Those guys are out there, one woman after another woman after another. And if you can't get a woman, you're online and you're doing, it's emptiness. Every time you have sex with somebody who doesn't love you, or you long to have sex with someone who doesn't love you, you're feeling rejected.
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly saying, I'm rejected, I'm rejected, I'm rejected. You don't realize how this is ripping your self-esteem apart. To find somebody that you've earned their love, you had their love, you did it, you provided it, you got it. That love only grows over time. And biologically, this is true because when you have sex, this is for men, when they have sex with a woman they love and a woman who loves him. So this is a married couple. When they measure sex between a married couple, when the man has sex, he produces different hormones. The hormones he produces that he doesn't produce in masturbation, he doesn't produce it in sex, one-night stands, non-personal relationships. And those relationships, he doesn't produce prolactin. Prolactin is the monogamy hormone. Prolactin inhibits his desire to have sex with other women. So this is nature. You find a woman who loves you, now your body can produce prolactin that frees you from your lustful emptiness. Okay, there's I remember one of the great philosophers who didn't have a great marriage, but Alan Watts, great philosopher, did not have a great marriage or sex life. He's brilliant in the head, not so much in the body, my opinion, because his statement was, finally, I'm 75 years old, the dragon is dead. And the dragon was his sex drive, this thing that controlled him, that was always based upon lack of fulfillment, looking for it here, the dragon, the hungry ghosts, the Buddhists will call it, the hungry ghosts. They're just always hungry and not satisfied. But then you have a partner that you have sex with your whole life, and it's based upon growing in love, intimacy. Sexual intimacy is the opportunity to be in your body more fully than any other time and feel the love and give love to your partner. So it's literally, why do you go out and have McDonald's when you got the best ribeye steak at home? Okay, that's the idea. And when I discovered that, it was the recognition that, I'm trying to remember, there's various times when I've remembered this. There's this place of peace that comes in you where you realize the beast was dead of looking for somebody else because I have it in my life. And there's just something so satisfying to know that it's always there for you. But how can you continue to feel sexual when it's always there for you? That's the reason people today lose attraction to each other, is they don't have sex in a proper way. So let me give you a little bit of science here. If you have sex with someone in a monogamous relationship, you produce prolactin, which causes you to desire less other women, and you're more satisfied in this relationship. But if you have too much sex with that person, then you lose interest in sex. But this is another research study that was done, that when men have sex with their partner on Saturday night and then have sex with their partner, what happens, their testosterone levels go up and they come down to baseline. And then you have sex on Tuesday, your testosterone levels are at baseline and they go up and they go down. And then you have sex on Saturday night, they're at baseline, they go up and they go down. But if you have sex on Saturday night and you don't have sex for 6 days, on the 7th day, your baseline has gone up 50%. So now you're engaged that day. You wake up that morning with 50% more testosterone because you didn't have ejaculation twice that week. So this is, too much of a good thing isn't a good thing. Occasionally it's fine, okay? And, I'm not trying to be some puritanical rules. You look in the Jewish religion, they will have they don't have sex except around ovulation. Okay? 10 days where the man and woman don't touch or whatever, and then that's naturally, according to your bodily rhythms, or estrogen levels, they start to double about 4 days, 5 days after a period. So, or 10 days after the beginning of her period, that's when her estrogen levels are starting to double. That's when her estrogen levels are starting to rise higher, where she can fully enjoy sex. So that's their understanding of it. So men are celibate for at least 10 days a month. And so that's one approach to it. Another approach is have it 4 times a week, but have 6 days in between. Give yourself a rest. Like, think about this. If you eat all the time, food's good, but it's not as delicious. If you fast for a day, then it's like in heaven, So my partner's out of town right now, and I'm great with that because I know distance makes the heart grow stronger. It makes the penis get harder. And it's as long as you don't masturbate, you don't release the energy. And so many couples don't understand this. If a man's not getting it with his wife, he'll go masturbate. Then the energy that she needs from him, that desire energy to awaken her sexuality, gets dampened. So we don't have healthy sex skills to keep the sex going. So when I'm talking about monogamy, I'm talking about a lifetime where sex can grow and love glows, all gets better and better, as opposed to the couple who doesn't know how to have sex, has too much or not enough, or does it the wrong way. What happens is sex doesn't become so fulfilling, and therefore your body you don't grow in love through sex. Your prolactin isn't produced, and now you're feeling, I wish I had that, I wish I had that, the man is starting to lust for other women, the woman is either lusting for other men or she's not interested in sex at all. And then you get to 60 or 70 for these men they sort of run the course with their testosterone. You'll see so many pills and everything is about testosterone for men because they lose interest in their 50s and 60s and 70s. It just doesn't come up. It doesn't get hard. It doesn't last. What to do? Start practicing space in between. It'll start increasing your testosterone. You come back to being like a young man. I'm 71 years old and my testosterone levels are like mine when they were a young man, and even more. I measured them. They're 50% higher. Because I talked about this with you before, Michelle. It's hard to talk about things that people can do right away, but there's a thing where there's lots of books teaching men how to have orgasms without ejaculating. If you can have orgasm without ejaculating, that means you can have lots of sex and your testosterone levels stay at a higher level. And when the testosterone stays at a higher level, it means that a man is less moody, less pouting, less irritable. He's more motivated. He has more energy. He's more romantic. He's more attentive. All those good qualities he had in the beginning, which were automatic for him, has a lot to do with the newness of high dopamine raising his testosterone automatically. But the newness will go away. The testosterone levels don't get that free ride. So we have to do other things, which is the one I had just mentioned, which is some abstinence in between. But always in between. You can't stop having sex. For couples that have stopped having sex, they need to start having sex and let it just be the worst sex you ever had, but be very gentle with each other, And you've got to start trying. And it needs to be, ideally, if the woman doesn't fully open up and feel levels of orgasm, then the man shouldn't ejaculate. He should practice, let me just get aroused and excited and abstain, because that will build his energy up. Because his body will keep saying, I need to have that release. I need to have that release. And if he gets too excited, he'll get blue balls without that release. But if he just moderates it, tones it down, now we're going to start and we're going to be a little sexual. Kind of like when you were teenagers, you just kissed. I mean, it was so great. And then we go, we want the whole big thing now. That's because we're addicted to high intensity. So you have to use willpower and be romantic, be affectionate, say loving things to each other, hold each other. These are things that gradually will awaken up that energy again and again until now you're having sex, and then you don't want to have too much. You want to create space in between. And, if you don't learn as men how to have orgasm without ejaculation, then what will happen is as you get older, you need more than 6 days. One woman said, it's just like, my husband is like 10 days before anything comes back. So I want to make sure we do it the right way. We get one chance. So this is a man's refractory period increases before he's interested in sex again, based upon how much estrogen he has in his body. So this is where your retired man does what he likes to do. He's going to have more estrogen. He has to balance that if he wants good testosterone, which is finding something he likes to do, but he has to work hard to do it. Okay, see, there has to be that working hard aspect of it and some sacrifice, doing things you don't like to do, but have a noble goal. For example, just saying in sex, you'd rather just have an orgasm every time for a man and ejaculate, try getting aroused and holding it, stopping it, and just don't ejaculate. Let that be a sacrifice you make for your partner, or do things for her